Welcome to what we think is going to be kind of a short episode. In preparation for, again, what we think are way better episodes. This is Objectively Wrong, presented by the Next Man Up. As always, I'm John, that's Ibteen. We're doing safeties and linebackers today. And even consolidating these two position groups into one, we have like one first rounder.
Total.
Yeah, maybe two.
I don't.
And if I'm being really, really generous, three total.
They're
three
not
total.
None of them are safeties.
Well, one of them is a safety, in my mind.
Okay.
I don't have a true linebacker. The way we did this is I did linebackers, Ibteen did safeties. I've got two linebackers that are maybe first rounders. Now, I am sure a million people right now are thinking, well, wait, what is he talking about? Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Nolan Smith. They're not linebackers. Do you think Hassan Reddick is a linebacker? Because he's not. Linebacker is a different world now. I'm not counting edge rushers with linebackers. We're doing edge rushers with D-line because that's what they fucking are. They're D-linemen. I understand they're not technically, but that's what we're doing it with. Mainly because it's going to be a great excuse to talk about Jalen Carter and Will Anderson in the same episode. It's going to be amazing. So, as I'm saying it, we probably should have separated them. But
no,
it's going to be a really great D-line episode.
We have 9 days, John.
Yeah, we're in the home fucking stretch. Vegas odds have the Panthers taking Bryce Young as a consensus. We haven't given you our QB rankings yet. Stay tuned; they're coming very soon.
We've done them though.
Oh, they're finished. They're finished. We're not even done with D-line yet. We have to go back through that, but quarterbacks are done. We're set.
It's a very simple day.
I'm going to give like a tiny little primer into that. I'm not giving any rankings. I'm not giving anyway.
All right.
This is the first year Ibteen and I reached a pure consensus at quarterback.
Without any discussion.
We debated nothing. Everything on tape was as we saw it as a collective singular brain.
Yeah.
We viewed this through one lens, one brain, and we agreed top to bottom. It was easy. It was glorious.
So they're all going to suck.
So they're all going to be terrible, and we're going to be very wrong.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about quarterbacks with everybody. It's a very interesting discussion. It's a great discussion to have.
Also, we did do a deep dive in quarterbacks.
Oh, we went
we actually did like what 11 of them.
We went into the Bering Strait for this one for not the Bering Strait, Marianas Trench. Yeah. We went in the Marianas Trench for quarterbacks, and we went to the baby pool, the above ground baby pool for linebackers and safeties, because that's how deep the class is.
Like we even gave Max Duggan a second chance.
We did. We looked at him again, and we are going to talk about Max Duggan. We're going to talk about Stetson. We're going to talk about so many quarterbacks you probably never even heard of. Yeah. And then we're going to ignore one that you probably have. And that's fine. He stunk. So that's coming up.
Yeah.
But we have to get through this first. And the reason I'm going to call this the broccoli episode. I love broccoli personally, but I know a lot of people don't.
I also love broccoli.
Right. Broccoli is my favorite vegetable. And it's not close. It's S tier. I don't even just steam it. I don't need anything on it. But
if you steam it, if you saute it with some water, you'll get the green color of the steam, but you'll also get like a better taste profile.
Just so you all know, this is more interesting than the safeties. The situation is we recognize that this is not the best area of discussion because let's be real, does anybody really love talking about a position group where there really isn't one guy at the top of it? We're like, oh my God, this is great. Like nobody looked at the running back core and thought anything after like, oh, Bijan Robinson's amazing. Yes. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and say, oh my God, Jack Campbell is average. Like that's the best I've got. I've got a couple of guys that can talk about that. That's not even a look into who I think is the best linebacker. I don't think he is. I like one better than Jack Campbell. Barely, but I do. And it's mainly because I don't think he's going to prototype as a. I don't think he's going to end up as a linebacker. I think he's going to play something else. So I'm at a loss a little bit with this group, but we'll get to that in a moment. Something big happened. A major deal was struck. Allen Robinson is a Pittsburgh Steeler. They swapped sevens. Doesn't matter.
Still better than the safeties in the line.
There's two real stories today. I want to start with actually the most important one. This is not kidding at all.
Okay.
Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, after meeting with 3 different specialists, was cleared to return to football. This man said today in his presser that the world watched him die on a football field. That's true. And he's been permitted to play football again. I have mixed emotions of that regarding the idea of him playing football again, I'll admit.
Oh, I don't have any mixed emotions. If he wants to play football again and he's medically cleared, he can't.
Agreed.
I just don't. I cannot believe the fact that I'm already medically cleared.
I can't contain the fact that I'm just humanly worried for him. Obviously, right? Like that. It's amazing. It's a medical miracle that he's not.
I mean,
doesn't still with us?
Doesn't Damar Hamlin technically actually have the best idea of the dangers of playing football and can make the most informed decision because he's basically seen the worst possible scenario you can come back from?
Yeah, death.
Yeah. So honestly, if he wants to play, good for him. I cannot believe he's medically cleared.
He's made a fan for life for me. I wish him nothing but the best in whatever he decides as far as playing or not playing or whatever. He seems fully committed to putting the pads back on. And good for him. It's ballsy. After what he went through, to still I understand the concept of loving football and loving what you do. I get that concept. I don't know if I would have the willpower to put them back on after that happened to me on the football field.
No,
I don't think I would have that. I think I'd be like, all right, I'm probably done.
Yeah, no shot. I would not come back.
But I respect the hell out of him for doing it. I already respected him, and here I hope he's making the right call. If 3 specialists cleared him, 3 specialists cleared him. That's the reality of it.
And not believe it.
I understand that.
There better be a slow ramp up, right?
Oh, I'm sure he's not doing Oklahoma drills today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a minute. But, I think it's obviously a step in the right direction for the man's health, obviously. Yeah. So it's something to be able to be cohesive and, participatory in his own life is a far cry. The concern was that he wasn't going to survive it. And now, not only is he going to survive it, he has survived it, he might put the pads back on. Fuck! That's insane. That's one of the best stories you'll ever hear in sports. It really is. It's one of the best stories you'll ever hear in sports. And I hope he's all right. That's all. That's all I care about. So now let's get back. Let's get to more general football topics. Obviously, Damar Hamlin, you've got friends here. Oh, and also, if you listen to this podcast and you're a Damar Hamlin body double truther, get the fuck out of here. Don't listen to this show.
There's a body double truth thing going on.
Yeah, there are people that when Damar Hamlin showed up at a game and he showed up at a playoff game after the incident, people were thinking that he wasn't showing his face because it was fucking freezing. And people were like, how do we know that's him? Fuck off. Don't listen to this show. I'm not listening to your nonsense. I'm not. I don't want you listening to this show, actually. And those that group will definitely be like, if they were listening to the show already, will be like, oh, he just doesn't like a second opinion. No, that's not an opinion. That's stupidity. There's a difference between an opinion and being a dick. There is a difference. And it's just being a dick to be a dick. This ain't Joe Rogan's show. You want to talk like that? Go over there. There's plenty of it. I am not bald and stupid.
Yet.
I'm probably not going bald. I'm pretty dumb. I'm dumb. I'm not stupid. Dumb is like conscious choices to like act a certain way and just like be an idiot for fun. Stupid is you don't really know the damn difference between what you're doing and why it's wrong. I think there's a difference between dumb and stupid, right? There's gotta be. Dumb is almost performance art. I'm excusing my own dumbness right now.
Let's talk about money, John.
Let's talk about money. Now that I've been dumb enough, let's talk about money. Jalen fucking Hurts got a Brinks truck full of it.
Did he though?
Well, yes, because he's the highest paid player in NFL history.
For like another 2 minutes.
Yeah, for about 10 seconds till Lamar Jackson decides to just take a contract. Jalen Hurts' salary cap number, his number, it's 5 years, a 5-year extension for $255 million, $179 million of it guaranteed. First of all, the Cleveland Browns still have paid Deshaun Watson more guaranteed money. The guaranteed money in Deshaun Watson's contract is $20 million less than Jalen's entire contract. That's dumb. In fact, I'll go a step further. That's stupid. Now that I've differentiated, that's just stupid.
We had a discussion yesterday about like who are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
We couldn't name 7.
No, we couldn't name 7 until we found ourselves in the amalgamation of like 15 players.
And I love the idea that Deshaun Watson was paid like a top 5 quarterback.
Top 2.
And isn't even close to my top 10 right now.
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. The sick reality of the Jalen Hurts contract is that once again, and again, I do nothing but sing this man's praises on this show, but I'm going to do it about a millionth time right now. This contract is a testament to
draft Bijan.
Fuck you. This is a testament to how great a general manager Howie Roseman is. It really is. Because, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Jalen Hurts' cap hit this coming season is $6.15 million.
Should we do the compare and contrast?
Show me Daniel Jones, please.
Who also recently got a brand new contract.
Substantially lower in overall money compared to Jalen Hurts.
His cap hit is currently $21 million next year.
$21 million this coming season.
Yeah.
What is it in 2024?
$45 million.
Jalen Hurts is 13.5. What's Daniel Jones in 2025?
$39.5 million.
Jalen's is 21.7. What's Daniel Jones in 2026?
$56.5 million.
31 for Jalen Hurts. 31.77. Howie Roseman is a god.
No, fuck.
Now I don't know what that means. The cap hit in 27 is like 109. Yeah. But it's stupid. It's actually higher. But it's an unbelievable deal again.
But the thing is, like, once you get to that year, right? He's just going to get another extension.
So, of course, now here's the point. Here's the reality. First of all, you owe him $179. You have to pay him $179 million. It's a guaranteed number that you have to pay him. He's likely going to reach certain incentives. Mm-hmm. He probably is. But let's say he reaches none of them. Let's say Jalen Hurts stinks. Boom, done. First of all, he's actually owed less money guaranteed than Patrick Mahomes. The Mahomes contract is viewed as a steal in today's NFL, and it absolutely is.
Mahomes contract is ridiculous.
It's insane. $45 million a year for the best quarterback in the world is dumb compared to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is not the best quarterback in the world. He's one of the best players, absolutely. But he's not the best quarterback in the world. What he is probably the most valuable player, if not the second most valuable player in the entire league. He's easy to market. He's incredibly talented. He's a bona fide winner. He's highly articulate. He's highly intelligent. He's pretty damn private about his public life, but when he does do things, it's always funny. Like, it's just, he's what he is. So he's very much a what you see is what you get kind of guy. And
has Joe Burrow signed yet?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No. Burrow and Herbert are going to cause bedlam.
Herbert's not a Charger.
No! How dare you? Of course not.
Who's getting Herbert? Who has a number 1 pick next year?
Who's going to have the money? I don't know who has the money off the top of my head right now.
The Saints.
Here's my point. Here's what I was going to make, though. Hold on. At the guaranteed number amount
okay.
for Jalen Hurts, it's 179. Let's divide that by 5. Guy gets injured, doesn't hit certain parameters, can't do it. The contract's awful, okay? 35.8 a year. That's not crippling. It's bad. I mean, it'd be bad if he sucked, of course. But it's not the end of the world. Mainly because that's tradable 2 years from now.
Yeah,
it is.
If Jalen Hurts crashes and burns, it's just a Carson Wentz situation again.
And Howie Roseman will find somebody to fleece because he has done it a million times before, and he'll do it a million more times. He's not getting fired.
Good news, Colts fans.
Yeah, you're screwed. Don't call us. I promise you'll be very unhappy.
Good news, Colts fans. After your most recent bust at quarterback, Jalen Hurts may be available.
Yeah, the worst case scenario is Howie Roseman flips him for a 1. Like, it's the worst case scenario.
Who's your backup quarterback?
Right now, it's nobody. Okay. So I do need one. It's a valid question, which was why I was paying very careful attention to some of our late round options.
All I heard is eventually there will be a Dorian statue next to the Nick Foles statue, and Jalen Hurts will be an idiot.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
Okay.
I'm so stupid. Of course, it is Marcus Mariota.
Oh, that's right. Dude, Marcus Mariota is going to have a sick statue.
I got Mariota and Ian Book. My quarterback room is...
it's not Mariota, then it's Ian.
It's Ian Book.
Ian Book.
Marcus Mariota and Ian Book are my backups.
Winning the Super Bowl.
Ian Book winning a Super Bowl for the Eagles is the most Philadelphia thing I've ever heard.
Ian Book's mother, right, on a wishing star, made a wish that her son would win the Super Bowl, and then a monkey paw curled.
So that's that situation. Anyway, what do you grade the deal?
What the fuck do you mean what I grade? That's a great deal.
That's called an S, friends. That's an S tier contract. But I was a little concerned after the Daniel Jones deal was signed. I was a little concerned.
When the Daniel Jones deal was signed, I'm like, wow, that's stupid.
Yeah, Jalen, I guess, was always getting 50. What I think I said this to you maybe 3 days before they signed it. Just there was no news about it. I just said it. Anything under 50 was a steal. That was my opinion. Anything under 50 was a steal.
I knew he would be the top of the market.
Of course. Anything between 50 and 55, I thought was good value. And then anything 55 and over was going to be something you quote unquote had to do. And it would have felt that would have been like a B.
I think we've reached a point, right, where the majority of the quarterbacks, that are worth paying this money to don't care. The majority of the quarterbacks that are worth paying this money to want to win a championship.
Yeah.
And they've noticed that Patrick Mahomes has taken a very team-friendly deal, will also be ridiculously wealthy.
Right. No, Jalen Hurts has signed a contract that allows him to sign another contract.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe that this is 5 years tacked on to the already existing 4th year of his second round pick contract. which explains why the cap hit this year is only 6.
Okay, I was gonna be like, that's sick.
It's 5 more.
Yeah.
So he was due to be a free agent at the end of this year. Basically, what the Eagles said to him is, "We're not fucking around. We're not playing you in a contract year. We're paying you money.
We're not tagging you twice and then sending you to Minnesota.
Fuck no. We're not tagging you twice. We're not
for
playing
a fully guaranteed deal and then a tag and then another.
Now,
her cousin's God.
Yeah, he's a negotiation czar. I can already feel certain fan bases being like, or people listening to it being like, of course, John loves this contract. He's a homer. He loves the Eagles. He loves Jalen Hurts. Yada yada yada.
I could give a fuck about the Eagles.
I could give a shit. Right, MT can give a fuck. You want to listen to somebody? Listen to him. This is so clearly the second best quarterback contract in the NFL because of the way the cap is allocated. Now, listen, it's not fully public the remaining years. I don't know what they are. And the $179 million on dead would be, if I go to the 6 plus 13 is 19 plus 21 and 31, that's 51. That's 70 total. That means there's $100 million more dollars that aren't accounted for. That's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. So what that means to me is there's probably $2 million. There's 2 more years. Those cap hits are going to be like 42 and 50 something. It's going to be
not going to be high when those years come up.
42 is going to be normal. 50 will always be high. On a cap hit, 50 will always be high.
Okay.
It's always
the cap's going up every year. Who cares?
The cap is going up. So the new YouTube deal is going to skyrocket the cap.
I am so angry with this YouTube deal.
Cry about it. It's just the way it is.
Give me a legal way to watch football. Just that's all.
And teams pissed because the Raiders get blacked out a lot.
I've lived in LA. I understood why.
If you win, by the way, it'll be easier to watch them. Just saying.
I know. So now you know why I'm pissed. And now I live.
You pissed at ownership.
I've been pissed at ownership, John.
You haven't been. You know what's funny? You haven't been pissed enough. You haven't been pissed long enough at ownership.
I don't think I care anymore.
You're just a sadist.
It's just like, I don't know. I'm not excited for this draft. It's a sick draft, by the way.
It's an amazing draft. We'll talk about that in another episode. Why a team may not be excited for the draft.
I know what's coming.
You don't know what's coming.
Which, by the way, can we announce that now? Like, is that guaranteed? Are you?
No, don't announce it yet.
Okay.
Next episode. Until that's done. When I'm done with it, I will tell you, and then we can announce it.
Okay.
Intrigue.
Linebackers. Let's talk about them.
Yeah, go from intrigue to nothing. So, I've got a few linebackers, and I'm just going to throw names out there of guys that I watched, and I'm like, all right, they're good, but here's an issue with them. Diane Henley, Washington State University. Pro-style linebacker. Good patroller. Very good agility. Very, very fast at a 4.54. For a linebacker in the intermediate level, that's very, very strong. Here's my problem. He is 6'1". He is 225. 6'1", 225. I understand that's not as small as Nakobe Dean was, but I keep hearing that in the back of my head. Everybody wanted to bitch about Nakobe Dean. Let's bitch about Diane Henley. Why not?
And I've seen Henley like in second rounds for mocks.
I see second round talent on a third rounder's body. Nakobe Dean went in the third.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Henley's injury history is, admittedly. It probably isn't Nakobe's, but I don't see much. This is not a ranking, by the way, guys. I'm not ranking these guys. This is pretty
not good enough for.
It's not. There's a lot of everybody. I'm going to say draft them and be like, all right, they're good. You're not unhappy with any of this. The only guy I could look at and be like, I don't understand this player is the next guy I'll mention. And he's listed as a hybrid linebacker edge. So I have no clue what you're drafting him as. The problem is his name is Andre Carter, Army. Good prospect. He's huge. 6'6", 260.
I remember watching Army games and being impressed with Carter.
Yeah, there's just a number that I don't like.
Go ahead.
Well, he runs a 4.93.
That can't be true.
It's true.
That's a bad day. That's got to be a bad day.
It's a bad day. And I don't understand if that's true. And this is one source that had that down, but I'm going to check it again.
He does not play at that speed.
He doesn't. He doesn't. His combine measurements, his exact combine measurements, I'm pulling them right now because this was a flag for me. And I noticed it. There was one thing I noted. His clock time, his hand time was not as off as I think it would have been a pro day number because he didn't run the combine. Andre Carter, 40 time. He ran 4.91 at his pro day. That's what it is. 4.91. Yeah. But between 4.91 and 4.93. And there was the highest number he was clocked on the hand time, highest number he was clocked was 4.86. That was the best number he was able to clock on a 40. It's too slow. There's nobody else on this list that runs worse than 4.7. There's nobody else talking about tonight that runs worse than 4.7. Now, I forgot to mention this at the top, but I'm going to mention it now. John, you don't like linebackers. Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Nolan Smith. They're not in here.
No, you mentioned them.
Did I? I'm going to say it again then. Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson, Nolan Smith. We're not talking about them tonight. That is, they're edge rushers. I'm talking about it later.
What's Andre Carter's size?
6'6", 256. He's tall.
Pretty good.
Tall, long arms. He's athletic, but he's not fast. I guess you don't have to have breakaway speed, but if you're going to play linebacker edge, listen, if you want to put him at the edge at 4.93, he could be a big edge. You need to gain a couple of pounds. He can be a big edge. You can do that.
That's an Army kid. Army kids put weight on the frame with the NFL anyways.
Right, they do. Now, I'm going to talk about another linebacker I liked, but another one that's a little bit undersized because he's literally Diane Henley size. He's just 2 pounds heavier. Henry Tutu from Alabama, 6'1", 227. Runs his 40 slower than Henley, and about 0.1 seconds slower, 4.62. However, Alabama captain. That's a big intangible for me. I remember when the Eagles drafted Jordan Hicks out of Texas, 3rd-round pick, linebacker. He was the captain. Jordan Hicks had played 4 or 5, I think it was 4, very good seasons for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's still patrolling around the NFL. He was a Cardinal for a bit. I think he's a Viking now. He's a capable linebacker. Henry Tutu is definitely a guy I could look at and say in 3 years, top 20 middle linebacker type guy. Like he'll be at the better end because of his tackling ability. Bottom end, I think he's at least a good to a great teamer. But 4.62 is not great for a teamer. If you're going to do that, do Henley.
Mm.
Now we go to the next guy, who I actually have in the 2nd round. For everybody else I just mentioned, I think the 3rd round picks, honestly. But Noah Sewell, I have in the 2nd round. 6'2", 246, runs a 4.64. He is so traditional as a middle linebacker that I almost wish he was like 10 years older and came into the league back in the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound like a good thing.
I know that. But there's still enough value at it. And the fact that Devin Lloyd was drafted that way, and Lloyd was
not looking good.
He looked fine. You didn't like him, but he looked fine.
Lloyd's a Charger, right?
But it was a Jag. Am I fucking that up?
I think we're mixing up the two of them.
You're looking at Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd is a Jaguar.
Yeah. Was Murray the same draft?
No, Murray was like years ago. No. You know what? I remember last year, and you and I both were like, wait, why? The Jaguars drafted both Devin Lloyd and Chad Muma last year. So we were like, what? Why are you doing that?
They only needed Muma.
They only needed Muma.
Yeah, Kenneth Murray.
Murray's not good. But, yeah, that was Murray and Patrick Queen were the two that year.
Who also is on the trade block, by the way.
Yeah, but he's better.
Yeah.
So Noah Sewell's very classic. If he gets his hands on you, you're going down. That's the deal with Noah Sewell. You draft a player like that maybe a little earlier than you think you should. I've seen him anywhere from 2 to 3. I think you said you saw one where he was in the first round.
Yeah, late one.
No, don't do that. I only take him in the first round if you A, really feel like you need the 5th-year option, and B, don't have the ability to take him in the second. I still think it's a bad pick in the first.
Do you think he can stay on third down passing situations?
Yeah.
On the field.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. He's long enough. He's long enough to do it. That's been a little bit of an issue at times, but he's got no problem doing that. Probably in a zone. I don't want him probably manning anybody, but he's a very capable tackler. Very capable. And tackling has gone so out of style, which I'm annoyed by because I watched it happen to the Eagles a lot last year when their defense was like even when it was playing really well. Occasionally they wouldn't tackle. I know it's easy to say it now that he's not an Eagle, but CJ Gardner-Johnson often just dropped the boom and didn't wrap up. Marcus Epps, occasionally, not as often, but occasionally. Hell, Darius Slay, constantly. Slay doesn't tackle, but he doesn't need to because the ball's barely thrown to him. So tackling is a lost art, and I'm a huge proponent of it. I think you need to pay attention to guys that can. Speaking of guys that can tackle, this is another hybrid, and I didn't want to talk about him here, but I'm going to because I can't confidently say that Nick Herbig is a legitimate edge rushing option that could sneak higher into this draft. I'm seeing him consistently in the 3rd. I could see him in the late 2 because he's a nasty bastard. And that plays crazy productive. Huge pass rushing numbers. All of his intangibles are good. He's measuring at 6'2", 240. It's prototypical. 4'6", He's effectively Noah Sewell, but coming off the outside. I like that. It's a good option.
Which one would you rather have?
I'd rather Noah.
Okay.
I would rather Noah because the difference is Noah's middle, Nick's outside. I can beat Nick Herbig at the outside. There's a significant lack of middle linebackers in the NFL right now.
Really?
Yeah, there's like 4 dudes, and they're all like fine. Bobby Wagner is still probably the best one.
They're also all old.
They're all old as shit.
Yeah.
This is like what happened when fullbacks started to go out of style. The best fullbacks in football for like 5 years were all 30 or older.
Yeah.
So listen, the Eagles in particular run a 2 linebacker set almost as a base 4-2-5. Most teams are going to 4-2-5. I honestly don't love the 4-2-5. I get why we run it now. I get why everybody runs it now, but I hate it because it takes away blitzing, and I don't like that blitzing is gone. I like blitzing. But that's how that goes. Now let's talk about another hybrid quickly before I get to the 2 dudes that legitimately could go early. Derek Hall, 6'3", 255, definitely projecting more as an edge rusher. We'll probably talk about him again. That's why I'm barely going to bring him up here. He's got a little bit of both because of his size, but he runs a 4.55. At that size, you are going to be drafted early. Straight up, you're going early. You're going earlier than you probably otherwise would have. He's out of Auburn. That helps. SEC schedule. There's a player here. It's a damn good one as well. And on the topic of damn good players, I'm going to throw in Drew Sanders, who, again, I may reference again in the next episode. 6'4", 235, runs a 4.66. But he transferred from Alabama and ended up at Arkansas and exploded. And I'm going to pull up his point by point right now. He's projected.
Do that.
His
player comp is Tremaine Edmonds.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And that's a damn good one. Now, it's not as damn good as Chicago thinks it is, but it's a damn good pick. He exploded off the tape this year. His ESPN rating is like an 86 out of 100, which is pretty damn high. Transferred to Arkansas, wanted more playing time, got it, played 12 games, 2 pass breakups, and a pick. which is weird for a pass rusher, 11 sacks. He was the nation's top linebacker. He won the Dick. He was a finalist for the Dick Butkus Award. That's significant. He was a unanimous All-American this year. He was the first Arkansas linebacker to earn first-team All-America honors from AP since 1964.
So is he a pass rusher or a linebacker?
That's the weird thing. He is at his best as a pass rusher, but he's a little undersized for it. So theoretically, if you drop it, he can cover. This almost feels like a diet Hassan Reddick, in that Reddick is obviously a pass rusher, but he's listed as a linebacker, but he's not very good at it. This guy actually is okay at playing linebacker. He's not as good a rusher as Reddick is. So let's go to the next victim, I guess. Because I honestly felt victimized watching this crop. And listen, I am blowing through these guys. I know I'm blowing through them. Mainly because we're already going longer than I thought we would.
Yeah.
But because I wanted a lot of the show to be about the Jalen contract. I didn't think that was going to happen before the draft. I'm glad it did, though. Sanders is definitely a player I'm going to keep my eye on in this draft because if the Eagles don't go pass rush in the first round, I've got him circled in the second. I don't know if he's going to get there. I know that like a lot of mocks have him in the third. I don't know if he's getting there. I'll be honest
with you.
If
He's at the third, that seems pretty sweet to me.
I would take him.
There's some concern about the fact that it's a 1-year starter, though, right? Only.
Sure. It's a legitimate concern. I don't give a shit. I'll be honest with you. If you can play, you can play. Trey Lance went third. I know it's a quarterback. It's different, but
didn't like it, John.
You didn't like it.
Let's talk about.
Let's go to the top. Who are you gonna say?
Talk about Trenton Simpson.
So Trenton Simpson, if gun to my head, if I had to pick a top linebacker, and I mean a top linebacker, he's my one.
I'm looking at this 40 time.
And that's why he's my one.
Yeah.
Trenton Simpson is 6'2", 235, and he runs a 4.43. He is the fastest linebacker that I'm talking about today. Mainly because I'm not touching the top three. Y'all know who they are, and there is one that is under 4.4.
This guy's faster than corners.
This guy's as fast as certain corners. Here's my problem with Trenton Simpson.
Okay.
And I have like one problem.
Okay.
He can get fucked around if he faces too many blockers in succession. If he gets clipped from one to the other, he can get washed out of plays. I've seen it happen. But and his coverage isn't. He can get lost in the sauce a little bit. But he's extremely athletic. He was an elite high school recruit. I take that. Comes from a military family. He started as a true freshman, which was huge. Got 4 sacks.
For Clemson, by the way.
Huh?
For Clemson.
For Clemson, which is huge. He runs like a freight train, and he benched 25 running a 4.43. The gifts are there. The unteachables are there. He is looking. He worked out as a linebacker. I am not convinced he's not a safety. I'll be honest. I'm not convinced he's not just a big safety, but he kind of feels like a tweener. Because I'm gonna pull Kaiser White real quick, because when I watched his tape, I saw like a higher ceiling Kaiser White.
Is this like a guy that? So do you think you can play him as kind of like a box safety then?
Maybe. Kaiser weighs what? Kaiser's 6'2", 234. This guy's 235. It's the same damn body. It's the same body. Kaiser came into the NFL as a safety out of West Virginia, and he transitioned to linebacker. This guy's already a linebacker. So he's not going to go to safety, but he has safety traits. And in a draft, this is part of the reason why when Kaiser ran his 40, it was a 4.69. This guy blows him out of the water. So I'm very excited for that reality. I'm very excited for that concept.
Now, would you be okay with drafting him in the first?
No.
Okay.
No. Yes. Yes, I would. Mainly because I'm going to say he's my top one, and I'm going to say the guy that I think is number 2 is probably going in the first.
Okay.
Yeah, I would pick this guy in the first, but I wouldn't pick any of these guys in the top 20. Not one of them. Not one of them. If you really want to add a defensive stalwart, though, if you're trying to look for a guy that you think is going to be there for 8-9 years as a steady player, I would go with the next guy. But if you want a guy that can potentially achieve a ceiling that the other guy just is not going to reach, take Trenton. And Trenton could bust. There's bust potential here because of his coverage skills, which is weird because he's Kaiser's size and he runs like a gazelle. But he just doesn't seem to have the feel for it. I don't think he's dumb. I think he's actually quite smart. I think he's very capable of getting where he has to get as far as a coverage player, but he's not there right now. He's going to need proper honing for that to be achieved. And with that, let's discuss Jack Campbell.
Okay.
Because Jack Campbell reminded me of another Iowa product, Josie Jewell, who you and I enjoyed greatly coming out.
We did not have him as a first-round pick.
No, and Josie didn't go as a first-round pick. Yeah. Josie went as a third. This is a better prospect. I'm just straight up, he's a better prospect. And it's not a fair comp. It feels like a weak comp because of the Iowa situation. But here's the difference between this guy and Josie. This guy's big. Josie wasn't. This guy ran a 4.65. Jack Campbell, 6'5", 249. Let's just call it 250, 465. He's a big, big man. And when I see mocks, I've been seeing him mocked late 1. I've seen him mocked mid 2. I saw one mock that had him like almost into the 3rd. I don't see that happening. He won the Dick Butkus Award, All-America first team everywhere, won the Campbell Trophy. He was academic All-Big Ten last year. There's a leader in this player. As a senior, played 12 games, 804 snaps, 77 tackles. He had a pass breakup. He had 2 picks. When targeted, pass rating of 70.6. I don't look at that at all because it's a linebacker. I don't think he had any sacks. I didn't write those down. I don't think he had a sack, but he had 13 pressures. This is not a pass rusher. You stick him in the middle and let him patrol. That is loud. It's a helicopter outside my window. That is loud. It's like breaking. No, it's not. When you think linebacker of 2002, that's what you think of when you watch Jack Campbell's tape.
That doesn't.
Jack Campbell and Noah Sewell feel old school to me. And I don't mind that in a league that has been ripped to bits of its middle linebacker talent. I like what?
For a reason, though.
Well, it's when you move away from running the ball, you move away from needing linebackers, of course. But there's wait, what? Oh, my sister texted me some crazy shit about a game. Apparently Xena played a shadow dropping DLC.
Okay, I was gonna be like, are we announcing a live trade right now?
No. My sister would not have traded me. No, there's a Xenoblade just shadow dropped that a week from now there's gonna be DLC. We're nerds here too, guys. You've heard that before. So yeah, Jack Campbell. I like him. He's my second linebacker. I think he's gonna go above Trenton, but I think Trenton's ceiling's a little bit higher. That's really all I got on these linebackers.
Let's talk about another position that's also bad. Let's talk about safety.
For those that are only listening, I was drinking water when he said that. That's why it sounded like I died.
If I could tell you one thing to take away from this episode, it would be wait till round 3 to draft a safety.
Daniel Jeremiah put this on Twitter like a week ago.
Yes, you talk about that.
DJ basically just tweeted, like, well, now I'm looking at a ceiling. DJ basically tweeted, it is not the year to need a safety. There's only one that I saw that is worth even considering in the first round.
I wouldn't consider it.
Well, not only that, Epteen, you don't think Brian Branch is a safety.
Brian Branch isn't anything.
He's a corner.
Let's talk about Brian Branch, okay? Because, by the way, after we talk about Brian Branch, you can turn off the episode. I won't be insulted.
I will be. I'll be very sad.
Brian Branch, 6'190". He's projected to be
that's a corner.
Yeah, he's projected to be a late one.
Yep.
Probably
will be.
I wish you had these notes open, John.
I'll open them right now.
Because the first thing I write after watching Brian Branch is, what the fuck?
As in, this is the best safety?
Which, by the way, that's a pattern. I get a little pissed off while we're creating safeties.
You've been pissed off a few times. You've been pissed off a few times with some of these position groups, though. You did not like receivers when we watched them. The only position groups you've enjoyed watching so far, we still got D-line to get through. But you liked quarterbacks. We had a good time.
Yeah,
you loved tight ends. You liked the running back group enough. Although I think we both preferred last year.
Oh yeah, last year's a lot better.
Last year slapped.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it. Oh, we like corners.
I love the corners.
Yeah,
I still adore these corners.
Yeah, this might be the best. The corner class might be. I think we could say at this point, the corner class might be the best class in this draft.
I watched something special last night.
What did you watch last night?
Quarterbacks.
We're very excited to bring you the quarterback analysis. We're very excited.
Let's talk about Brian.
We haven't shot it yet, but we're shooting it next. We're shooting the quarterback analysis before we shoot the D-line analysis, but it's coming out after the D-line analysis. So just stay tuned.
Let's talk about Brian Branch. What is Brian Branch? It's not a safety.
Plays for Alabama.
Not a corner. It's not a linebacker. Brian Branch.
He's a defensive weapon.
Brian Branch is glue. The entire Alabama defense works because of Brian Branch. I have never seen a more versatile player since Isaiah Simmons. That's a problem, by the way. Yeah. So Brian Branch does nothing exceptionally well. Nothing at all he does exceptionally well. It's a jack of all trades. He will do everything. He is very solid at everything. It's a very safe player.
Where did you even put this?
DBs.
Okay. It's on the corner list?
Yeah, you scroll down.
Oh, it's under it. Okay.
I
was like, what?
Watching his tape, it was probably at its best when he was playing like a nickel linebacker hybrid type thing. I'm kind of sad that there's not more tape of this guy up high.
Right.
And we'll get to the other player that is up high that I actually did like. But he's quick enough. He's not really that fast. He ran a 4.58 40, but he's quick. So I left this tape session kind of unimpressed and disappointed. I think he's a second round safety prospect who can come down and play in the box, play more of a linebacker role, but that's also something you can get for much better value later on in the draft. I couldn't stop seeing Isaiah Simmons, and Isaiah Simmons has not lived up to his stock one bit.
Isaiah Simmons was drafted as a linebacker.
Yeah.
That's a common thread for the Cardinals. They did it twice. They drafted Reddick and Simmons, two tweeners that they just didn't use right. No wonder they cleaned house.
This is all I can
I
say.
think Kime drafted both of them.
This is all I can say about Brian Rich. He's safe. He will make your team better. It's not a first round caliber player. Doesn't excite me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They don't all have to excite you.
Yeah.
They don't. And they shouldn't. If they all excited you, you don't know what you're talking about.
Let's talk about all the rest.
Let's do it.
And we're gonna do this really quickly.
Yay!
Let's go all the way to the bottom.
All right, let's go to the bottom.
I was very selective with the safeties we watched because I agree.
It was minimal.
Yeah, it was minimal. Let's talk about Florida State's Jamie Robinson.
Wait, can I real quick also like right or wrong?
Sure.
We might have disrespected Keely Ringo.
No. I graded Keely Ringo as a 2.
Every one of our like major quarterbacks played against Georgia, and we might have disrespected Keely Ringo.
I graded Keely Ringo as a 2. I will stand by that too. The corner draft is sick.
Yeah, but Keely was bananas in those games.
Corner draft is sick, John.
And honestly, Keely Ringo and Jalen Carter stepped the fuck up in those games. It's insane what those two do in like high leverage, high pressure situations. Anyway, go ahead, Jamie.
Jamie Robinson can't cover. He's a safety that can't cover.
That's not a safety. That's a linebacker.
Can't put him in the slot.
Nope.
Honestly, I wrote this down. Kid's a linebacker.
Yeah, at 5'11", 190.
Yeah. I think what you can do with him in the NFL is you put him on early downs to capitalize on his run support because that's what he does well. But that's it. Moving on. Christopher Smith from Georgia. So I have a history of hating Georgia safeties.
You do. I love me some Georgia, and I always try to sell you on these guys, but it never seems to work, and I end up usually being wrong about the safeties from there. So, but I'm right on the corners. Keely Ringo.
We'll see. If he goes in a second, I'm still right. I like the kid. I just think the class is ridiculous.
I have nowhere to put him, but I want to take him.
Okay. I hate Georgia.
But I couldn't have less of a place to put him.
Christopher Smith is projected to be a 5th round pick. I think that's wrong.
I do too. I actually know a little bit about Chris Smith. That's stupid. That's too low.
Which by the way, if you still don't know, these projections are from ESPN. Todd McShay and the other guy. Christopher Smith.
Yeah, Mr. Trent Dilfer Truther.
Christopher Smith is better than Louis Sain, in my opinion. And Louis Sain was a 1st round pick last year. I didn't have him in the 1st round, but Louis Sain was a 1st round pick last year.
He was.
The best part about Christopher Smith is he's not a on the line of scrimmage safety, which 90% of this class is.
Yeah, I noticed that as a trend this year at safety. There's a lot in the box. Is the NFL planning for a running back resurgence? Because I got to tell you, I don't think it's happening. Ever.
I just think
you know what it could be?
What?
It could be fear of the QB sneak. It legitimately could be fear of the QB sneak.
Are you saying, oh, look, the quarterbacks are the running backs now?
If you look at Philadelphia, they kind of are.
Lamar Jackson went off. Let's just
Lamar and Jalen went bananas. Let's get a box safety. Let's get 30 Landon Collins right fucking now.
Chris Smith is an up high player. You can leave him up high, and he has excellent coverage, excellent anticipation skills. He's kind of slow at 4.62, but he has great bursts, so it's weird. Maybe he's not trying at his 40. I don't know.
You better be fucking trying in your 40.
His size isn't that great. It's 5'11 at 192 pounds.
It's about the same as Jamie.
Yeah, but Jamie isn't nearly the caliber of player. This guy.
No.
So he's been projected to be a day 3 pick. I think he's a day 2 pick. I think we're forcing players into rounds at this point. And I think Lance Zierlein will come up again because he has a couple of takes that I absolutely despise.
By the way, I want to make sure, because we're about to rip, I know MT's about to rip Zerline to shreds.
Yeah.
We like Zerline.
Oh, I love Lance
We
Zierlein.
actually love Lance Zerline. Lance Zerline is very intelligent. Like his analysis is usually quite strong.
I have never disagreed more with Zerline in my life than on Illinois safeties this year.
I think I know where you're coming from, especially with the twin.
Yeah.
Because I'm very excited for the twin. But go ahead, continue with your list.
Anyways, this projection just makes me wonder if we hate free safeties, because the free safeties are going absolutely on day 2, talent-wise, and they're all projected to be like 5th or 6th round.
Yeah, what's funny about free safeties, right? Like free safeties, you would think are the valuable ones right now.
Oh, yeah, it's a passing league.
It's a passing league, and it's not going to stop. I just turned a different light on, so maybe that'll help my visuals rather, not visibles.
All right, let's talk about
this isn't a ring light or anything. I have one that I haven't found from unpacking yet, but this one is like fantastic. It's not a ring light, but it's great light.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Boise State's J.L. Skinner. Now, J.L. Skinner has been rising on boards, I've noticed recently.
I wonder fucking why.
He was projected to be an early 4th round pick.
How about you just say how big he is?
He's 6'4", 209.
This is fucking Cam Chancellor. That's a banger of a player.
Now, Skinner is an all-around type safety, which does not exist in this draft.
No.
He can play.
But to be fair, by the way, Chancellor was like 30 pounds heavier, but still.
He can play run support. He has coverage ability. That's very valuable. I think as long as this kid doesn't have to run vertically, you have a good coverage linebacker.
Linebacker.
Yeah.
But 210.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not line. I think this guy's very dependable. And I think there's one other dependable player besides Brian Branch, who I keep on forgetting exists. Because
Brian Branch's tape is actually quite good, but it's not explosively good. Like, it's like, all right, that's good. That's your best. That's a good safety. Like, he's a good safety. He's quite good.
Let's talk about the other guy that I like. Also from Alabama. Played with Brian Branch. Jordan Battle out of Alabama, 6'1", 209.
Currently my preferred option for the Eagles in the 2nd or 3rd round.
He's not as versatile as Branch. Just tell you that right off. I mean, there's a reason why this guy's going after Branch. But Battle is probably the most steady, solid safety in this draft.
And he's better in coverage. He's over the top. He's less of a box guy.
Exactly.
He's way more tailored to the current NFL.
I think if you're looking for a free safety and you're in this draft, I think you can take Jordan Battle in the late 2nd, early 3rd, and run away. I actually believe that. But besides that, his biggest weakness is coming down from that free safety role.
Right.
And playing closer to line of scrimmage. His fundamentals aren't really all there, but that's coaching. His run support's not really all there because he comes in too hot. But
where have we seen that before from safeties?
Yeah. Take Jordan Battle if you need a free safety.
When he comes in too hot, I'll ask you this because I've seen plenty of Battle. I just don't remember. When he comes in too hot, is the head low?
The body's too hot. It's like, and it's not only him just coming in too hot, he takes the wrong angle.
I'm asking the Abram question.
It's not Abram.
Good. That's what I need. For those that don't know the Abram question, I knocked Jonathan Abram months out from the draft, well before the Raiders had him, and I was like, this guy plays stupid. And I was concerned. Sure enough, he continued to play stupid.
Let's talk about a little sleeper in this draft.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Daniel Scott from California.
Daniel Scott.
He's 6'1", 208.
Yeah, how old is he?
25.
No!
Daniel Scott has played college football for 6 years. This is one of the first grades where I looked at Zerline and I said, what the fuck? Do you want to read this one, John?
Yo, Zerline, be honest with me. The intern did this grade for you. Zerline has Scott as a special teamer only in the NFL. He played a lot of teams in college. He'll do the same in the league, but he's an athletic ball hawk that can place deep in the center and handle his own business. Yes, he's old, but the experience shows. His hips are smooth. He can read the quarterback from single high. I actually believe that's probably true based off what I've seen Cal do. Like, be honest, man. You saw the college and you saw the age and you just moved on. This is stupid. In this caliber of safety class with very few free safeties to not think this guy can go on day 2. The value, if he does slip the 4th round, is 100% there. He may slip to the 4th, by the way, because he's 25. Let's just be honest.
Let's also be honest. He's 25 and he's a safety. Who the hell cares what he does after that contract?
What, you're drafting him for 4 years?
Safeties are replaceable.
If you're if you're drafting him for 4 years, he's not going in the top 3 rounds, I promise.
I'm just telling you, safeties are replaceable, John.
If you're drafting him only for the first 4 years and that's it, and you're like done, if you're drafting a 4-year player, that's effectively a rental. You want to draft a player that you think is going to be there longer than 10 minutes.
I'm just saying, if this guy probably has a 6-year career at most.
Well, then you don't take him in. That's why he's going in the 5th. That's why. Apologize to Lance Zerline fucking now.
Let me tell you.
Your analysis, I'm sorry. Your analysis that you just did apologized to Lance Zerline.
I will not, because he has the talent of a 3rd-round safety. Who cares if he only plays 6 years?
I don't know, 32 teams in this league.
Okay, most players only play 2.
I think the average is like 3.1.
Getting better. Good for you guys.
I think it's always been like 3.2, 3.1, yeah.
So the average player plays 3 years. Who the fuck cares? It's a 60.
He's definitely only playing 3 years if he's 50 by the time the contract's up.
6 years. You get 6 years for a 4th-round pick. Who the hell cares?
I kid a lot on this show about player age. I think it matters more for quarterbacks than any other position, personally. And I would not take a player over the age of 25 ever. 24 and below, I'm pretty much going to be okay with it. 25, I'm wary. 26, and from Canada, no. Like, looking at you, Danny Watkins, I'm never going to get over it.
Safeties don't get paid money, John.
Safeties don't get paid money.
Safeties don't get paid money. It's a 6-year career.
We pay them. We pay them in stamps. We paid them in vouchers.
There's context.
We pay them in skee ball tickets.
And also, you shouldn't be marking this guy 2 full rounds of a grade because of age. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I get both points, I think.
Grade the player. It's a safety.
Go to the next guy.
All right. Let's talk about Illinois safeties because I'm pissed at Lance Zerline now.
Let's go to Illinois. You want to do the not twin first?
Sydney Brown.
Oh, you're going to the twin. All right.
5'10" and 211 was disrespected.
This is one of my favorite players in the draft.
He was disrespected by Lance Zerline. Yeah. Lance Zerline graded this guy as a backup special team.
How old is he?
28.
Go look it up. I have to look it up.
I'll look it up.
He's 23.
23 years old.
23. Ripped out of his mind, by the way. But yes, he's 23.
Sydney Brown.
He's still above the number, kind of.
For Illinois, Sydney Brown covered tight ends basically by himself.
He did.
That's valid.
I remember seeing
it. Should we go over how many top 10 tight ends there are in the NFL? Because there's more than 10.
There are like 15 to 16 high-end tight ends in the NFL right now. He had 6 picks last year, this kid.
He's solid in zone. I mean, what's the problem with him? His hips are tight. Every single Illinois CP's hips are tight. It's in the water.
Even Devin.
Yeah.
By the way, I need to throw out there that Cynthia Freeland from NFL Network comped Devin Witherspoon to Jair Alexander. I told M-Team that right before we started filming, and he was speechless. And he just said, "We'll see." And then I think I put the fear of God in M-Team.
Sydney Brown is a high IQ player.
Yes, he is. why I like him. You can see the IQ. You can literally see him playing with it.
Let's go to the other one. Let's go to Juan Martin. 5'11", 194. Illinois DBs. You could just draft them all this year.
All three of them are good.
You could just do it. Just transplant it.
Now, let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you the Georgia question.
Okay.
Who's your fulcrum?
I don't know. I mean, it should be Devin, right?
I do. It is Devin.
Devin's the best one.
I think Quan is the least likely to have been the fulcrum, in my opinion. I think Sidney Brown's upside is stupid, honestly. I know Zerline likes Quan, I think, a little bit better.
He does.
But
I really see Sidney and Quan as kind of interchangeable. Really. Like, I think the value is basically the same for both of them. They're both really kind of the same player. I think Quan's a better safety and Sidney's a better CB. Like
Sidney, listen, I would rather you get like 20 pass breakups and 2 picks than 6 picks and 10 pass breakups. Because it means you're in the right spot. I don't care if you catch the ball. I would love obviously turnovers matter. They're huge. Eagles dominated the turnover battle this year, took it to the Super Bowl. But a wide receiver's job is to catch. A defensive back's job is to stop him from doing so. So if you do your job, you win football games. Just that simple.
We have 2 more safeties in the worst safety draft I've ever seen.
Do it.
Let's start with Penn State.
It's not the worst safety draft you've ever seen.
It's the worst safety draft.
It's one of them.
It's one I've scouted.
Jair Brown.
Jair Brown from Penn State.
I knew this part of it was coming because I've seen him play. And go ahead, say the number.
5'11", 203 pounds with a 4.65 40.
I honestly have seen him play slower. So I knew this was kind of going to become a problem. He could. When I saw him in the comment, I'm like, you can't hide forever. You can't hide forever.
Here's the problem with Jair Brown. Jair Brown is fool's gold. You look at the interception numbers. You look at the interception numbers, and you think this is sick.
A lot of Penn State fans think he's really good, and every time it was discussed, I don't call myself a Penn State fan. Yes, I watch Penn State football, but I'm not really a Penn State. I'm not a college football fan of any particular school. I watched Jair Brown. I wanted to like Jair Brown. I still remember the days of Adrian Amos at Penn State and being like, this guy's the next great safety in the NFL. I was right. Brown ain't him. It's not. It's so clear. They're not. This is not.
If you remember from the corner episode.
You might be being too generous with your grade.
If you remember, I mean, that's just how bad the class is. I think really because of that. If you remember the corner episode, I talked about 2 players who are practically invisible ball hawks.
Yep.
In Cam Smith and Emmanuel Forbes.
Yep.
This is not the same.
Nope.
I've never seen a player get more interceptions from what are basically just arm punts in my life.
He was very coin flip. He called heads. He called heads a lot and landed heads.
Jair Brown, you would think a free safety, no, box at best.
Yep. At 205, that's not bad for a box safety. His measurables actually go to a box safety.
He has good bursts. Makes his 40 weird.
Yeah.
Makes his 40 really weird. You can blitz with this guy. And I think Penn State did it a lot, actually.
They did.
He's also not very football IQ intelligent because I've seen him get tricked a lot by quarterbacks and play design. I wouldn't draft this player when this guy is on the board. And this guy is Texas A&M's Antonio Johnson, who's 6'2", 198, and is probably my second-rated safety.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem with Antonio Johnson. He can only play one position. It's box safety. It's the only thing he can play.
It's tricky in today's NFL for box safety.
But he's the best one in this draft. And it's a draft where 90% of them are box safeties anyways. So just take the best one. He can cover tight ends okay. I'm worried about the speedster guys and the elite guys beating him. Excuse me. Because I don't think he's fast enough. I think Tyreek Hill would kill this guy.
Probably.
Yeah. Excellent tackler. Very good at knocking the ball out of players' hands. Very good at it. Terrific run support. Just do not play this guy side the box. just a small little area of the
Keep him in the
field.
box.
Yeah, there's a small little area of the field where you got a high quality starter.
Yeah, keep his ass in the box.
Whether or not that's worth it for you, you decide. But those are the safeties. Don't draft them.
Yeah, those are those two groups. And straight up, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying all these players are bad because they're not.
There's just
But
no good.
there's no studs.
Yeah.
These are two studless positions. Trenton, I think, is my ceiling for stud in the linebacker crop. I think yours is probably Antonio Johnson.
Rather a battle.
Yeah, I think Battle's got crazy high upside, and I like Sidney Brown. I like the twin. I'm not. Unfortunately, the Eagles need a safety. So who should they get?
Not
Yeah, who should they get? Buda Baker. The Arizona Cardinals.
honestly.
The Arizona Cardinals should be able to fleece whoever they trade Buda Baker to if they end up trading Buda Baker. I don't need the Eagles to do that.
I mean, if you could get Buddha for a third, it's worth it.
It's not going to be a third. It's going to be more than that.
You think it's going to be more than that? I don't think it will be. The contract's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's about to go higher.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we got the money.
Arizona.
Hey, Jalen Hurts somehow has more money.
Arizona is rebuilding. They've made it quite obvious.
Yes.
They're trying to get more draft capital.
Trying to move
Baker
Nuke, too.
wants to go, and he only wants to go to championship teams.
Likes Nick Sirianni. He's on record saying it.
Weird.
He is. It was like a pre-Super Bowl thing. He was doing it. He did an interview with Kay Adams, and he was talking about like what he likes seeing in coaches and whatever. And unsolicited, he was like, "Oh, that dude in Philadelphia, he gets to be he just is himself." And players respect that.
You know what? Yeah, that's true. Nick Sirianni's always been just himself.
He is himself.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is himself. And sometimes it's weird.
He's him.
He is him. I don't know what dog he got in him, but there's something.
There's a chihuahua in there.
He's more feisty than Jordan. He's trying to fight everybody. Like he is gonna fuck some shit up one day. If you told me that he's gonna go run across the field and go get in a screaming match with a coach, it wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't.
I want to see him get into a fight with Sean McVay.
I don't think either one of them wins that. I
You know
think
who does? The guys holding their belts.
yeah. They're both of their get back guys. Problem is, my get back guy, I don't know who my get back guy is. There's a unit.
Oh, yeah.
You see the get back guy on the Rams?
Do you see how many reps he has to take during a game?
Yeah. If y'all don't know who the get back guy is, Sean McVay has a problem where he very often will accidentally step onto the field during like live play.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to do that. So they have a dude designated on the sideline to just keep Sean McVay from crossing the sideline. And sometimes he does a good job.
Oh, you know who I want to see Nick Sirianni fight? Mike
Who?
Tomlin.
I thought we were going to say Mike Tyson. I'd be like,
No,
you okay?
no, Mike Tomlin, though. Mike Tomlin's quiet, but he'll kill you.
But when Tomlin
Yeah, remember when Tomlin killed someone?
almost, I think he tried to trip Jacoby Jones. No, so here's the thing. Do you remember that guy in the Jets that literally did trip a player?
Yeah.
Golly. It was a long time ago, but yeah.
Anyways, that's the worst episode of the year. Thank you for watching. And
We'll be back. Our next episode is going to be defensive line,
Yep.
then quarterbacks, and then we got 2 mock drafts we're going to give you guys. And that'll take us into the first round.
yeah, it'll be what we would do, which is our favorite mock,
Yep.
and a prediction mock, which we generally do okay with. I'm not expecting us to do well this year.
It's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a really tough year. I'm expecting like 4.
I would be thrilled with 4.
I would be thrilled with 4 right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd be thrilled with none right because it means the draft was awesome.
If we got none right, do you understand what a crazy night that'll be?
If we got 0 right, something happened.
If we got 0 right, I'm not alive.
I am deceased. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys in the next one with D-line. Get excited. It's a very good group. Tackles and edge rushers, mostly edge rushers. And
get excited for quarterbacks.
Be hyped for quarterbacks. I'm telling you, be hyped for quarterbacks. Talk to you guys soon.